Grand Rising. Wanted to show you some more things that were happening behind the scenes on the 10th and the 13th. Some things are showing that the banks have collapsed, and it started on the 10th, 1 year after we manifested with Pluto. And again, it happened also, another event happened with the banks on the 13th. So as you can see, everything is collapsing. This whole thing with the silver, because these banks have shorted silver, and they were trying their best to get silver to fall today and yesterday, and it's not working. In fact, the Most High is showing the discrepancy between China and the fact that they're actually selling their silver, an ounce of silver for like $103, and an ounce of silver here in New York and America is selling for like $91. And it's because people are paying the premium because China actually has real silver backing their whole system. We have nothing but paper, and you know that as soon as you try to go and collect, they're not going to have that silver there. Just like everything they've done, they have set up everything with smoke and mirrors, and now the Most High is destroying them. And it talks about in Genesis 15:13 how at the end we're going to serve our 400 years and we're going to come out with great substance. The whole world seems to think that they're going to be able to run away with our great substance. They think that they're going to be able to, come use up America, use up the system, use up all of the resources here, and then take all this great substance back to their countries. It doesn't say that anywhere in the scripture. It doesn't say anywhere that the other nations were going to be able to benefit and take this great substance with them. So that narrative they're trying to push is not what the Most High has in store. Now I'm going to play about 3 minutes of this clip up top here, so you guys can find it on your own. There's so many of these stations popping up here, these channels popping up here, and they're pretty much showing nothing but like AI, but it's like they're showing all this information. And like this guy is really breaking it down about, and the dates are, I said they're right there in front of your face. The 10th, the Fed pretty much stopped. The 4 major banks should be able to, trade money and whatever else behind after hours, and then something else happened again on the 13th. So like I said, the 37th day after we went and manifested in Maui was the 10th, right? And then that's now also when this stuff is happening with stuff is happening with silver, right? And it's also happening with the banks. The banks are going to be insolvent. They're probably already insolvent. Some things are happening now that haven't happened since 2008, right? And there was all this stuff that was going on behind the scenes that we were not aware of. But see, now we've been looking for the change. We've been looking for the Most High to show us a sign. And he's showing us that the petrodollar is dead. And everybody who has benefited from it is going to have to pay. And all you other nations, you were all benefiting from it as well. Don't sit here and act like it was only America. America didn't run up $38 trillion of debt all on its own. This was something that's been going on that everyone, all of Psalms 83 has been benefiting from. So let me play a little bit of this video.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has taken an unprecedented step tonight involving America's largest banking institutions. A complete operational freeze happened less than 72 hours ago, and it marks the first time since the 2008 financial collapse that the Federal Reserve has invoked emergency powers to halt interbank lending across multiple systemically important financial institutions. The Federal Reserve confirms that as of 11:47 p.m. Eastern Time on January 10th, 2026, 4 major banks have been placed under enhanced regulatory supervision with immediate trading restrictions. Tonight, January 13th, 2026, now marks a moment that financial experts say could fundamentally alter the architecture of American banking. Federal regulators formally triggered Section 13(3) Emergency Lending Authority here. Take a look. Here's the official statement released just hours ago. The Board of Governors has determined that unusual and exigent circumstances exist that justify emergency intervention to preserve financial system stability. Remember 3 months ago? Remember when I told you that the commercial real estate crisis wasn't contained, that the exposure was spreading through regional banks like a contagion, and that the Fed was running out of tools to manage simultaneous crises? I wasn't exaggerating, I wasn't being dramatic, because less than 96 hours later, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup have all been restricted from certain interbank transactions. Let that sink in. The four largest banks in America, controlling over $9 trillion in combined assets, are operating under emergency Federal Reserve supervision. This is not rumor. This is not financial media speculation. This is happening right now. Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation emergency teams have been mobilized. Protests are erupting outside Federal Reserve regional banks in New York, San Francisco, and Chicago. 3 sitting members of the Senate Banking Committee are demanding emergency hearings in real time. And Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is on Bloomberg posting frantic warnings about the need for immediate congressional action to prevent cascading systemic failure. I wish I were making this up. I genuinely do, but this is where we are. January 13th, 2026, the day the American banking system entered uncharted emergency territory. Before we go any further, let's be honest for a moment. You cannot rely on mainstream financial media to give you the full picture of what's happening right now. That's why we built this platform, to deliver unfiltered.
And there's another video that is called "It's Over." The spread just exploded, and they were showing about how the discrepancy between what we're selling silver for here is like $91, and what they're selling silver for in China is $104. The spread is like $13, which, if you're selling the same commodity, it should be the same price. But again, it was a $13 difference. 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. When you start looking at the numbers and really pay attention to the numbers, the Most High is giving you all of this understanding and all of this confirmation that, you know, I'll play a little bit of the video. It goes with the Asian guy I was showing yesterday, his video. But I need to probably make 2 videos, because there's so much information coming out here. But it's showing you that why is it selling for $91 here and it's selling for $104 over in China? It's because China actually has their silver backed, by silver. We have, people are buying and selling, but it's backed on absolutely nothing. And if you're showing you that, silver and the paper silver that you're buying over here is backed by nothing, what do you think our dollar is backed with? Our dollar is backed with absolutely nothing as well. So again, everyone was able to, enjoy the dainties. And now when those dainties are taken away, now that everyone's going to be very upset because the bill is due. I might make another video talking about the silver. I said, but I'm just going to kind of show this to show you that the Most High is showing you the dates. January 10th, January 13th. The discrepancy between $91 silver here, $104 silver being sold in China, 13, 1 plus 3, 4. All of these, it's just the Most High is giving more and more confirmation every single day. And again, you don't see anything from pastors, priests, politicians, businessmen. All of them are utterly silent. I said, people have been just given all of their pretty much faith and the people they want to listen to these Edomites. And then there's all of these different vassals and blassels that have put all their faith in Esau, and you guys are all still here. See, many of these Edomites and people that are in part of Psalms 83 have always tried to push the fact that everything with the end days and the prophecy was about war, war, war. But as you can see, the Most High is destroying your financial backing, your financial system. I said everything's been about your money, the dainties. Right? He's taken all of that away expeditiously. And because that's your God. That's really what you have been praying to. You're praying that you never have to pay. You're praying that you're going to be able to everything is about good times Jesus, and everything's about you always winning. And as you can see now, after the 400 years, and this last 55 years with the whole petrodollar was all, around us. The fact that you had us, and everybody agreed that we're going to let America have all this money and run up all this debt because they had the Israelites under their control. But as soon as you lost control of us, now everything is falling away and spiraling, really quickly. Much love, family. Shalom.